Tomorrow I'll be camping outside of Antwerp, in the vicinity of the Volmer property. Antwerp itself can hardly be called a town. The general store doesn't even run anymore, and it barely has 10 full-time residents. It's hardly a blink on the side of the road. But the events that transpired in 1993 have ensured that Antwerp will echo throughout history. Almost every story and article I can find about this incident are practically identical, but I completely believe that every author has taken artistic liberties and exaggerated the claims and the happenings in the stories. So tomorrow, I aim to go there and filter out some of the bullshit, as well as at about 3 o'clock or something, try to contact Joan Volmer through the means of a Ouija board and see what we're really dealing with. Viewer discretion is advised, as I will not be filtering out any of the gore or violence mentioned in the articles and stories, nor will I be changing names as the source material has not done so. Keeping the possible exaggerations in mind, without further ado, sit back, enjoy the sounds of the amazing campfire, and enjoy. The extraordinary saga began in January 1993, when pig farmer Ralph Volmer became convinced his second wife Joan had become possessed by demons. He told friends in the local district who were members of an Outstead church group that evil spirits were making Joan dance outside, use bad language, and act like a prostitute, and behave like a pig or dog. Volmer, 55 at the time, tried tying Joan to their bed and locking her in the basement, but she became more hysterical and screamed throughout the night. Calling on his neighbours, John Rickenbach, 31, and his wife Leanne, and their spiritual leader, 78-year-old expelled Lutheran Leah Clugston, Volmer and the group concluded that 10 demons were living in Joan's body. Tied down with her own stockings in the excessive summer heat, Joan began to beg for food and water, scream and struggle against her bonds. Volmer decided they needed the help to oust the demons, and called in another church member, 28-year-old David Klinger. They strapped her down further and slapped her face. Volmer later said that he felt Joan was no longer his wife, but an evil spirit that needed to be dealt with. The group then called 23-year-old Matthew Nuske, an assistant greenkeeper from a golf course, whose mother believed he had special powers. Nuske blessed some olive oil and ordered the members of the exorcism group to douse themselves in it, then took a box of cling wrap and circled the house 7 times with it, sealing doors and windows against demons. To draw demons out, Nuske ordered Joan's possession smashed and her flower bed ripped up. He had identified the demons living inside Joan as the spirit of filth, a mother and daughter demon named Princess Joan and Princess Baby Joan, and Legion, a multitude of powerful demons the Bible says Jesus Christ exorcised from a possessed man. Nuske slapped Joan fully in the face to oust the demons. Her head was slammed against the wall and she begged for her life. At 4 p.m. on January the 30th, the group moved Joan's battered body to the bedroom, then sat on her and began pummeling her head, neck and chest to squeeze the demons from her womb up through her mouth. Eventually, Joan Volmer fell quiet and Nuske claimed victory over the demons and said she would arise by morning as her normal self. After 48 hours with no resurrection, Ralph Volmer sent for a local Baptist priest. Over the 2 days and 40+ degree blistering Australian summer, the body had bloated dramatically and flies covered her corpse. This scene obviously shocked the priest. He called a doctor and within no time police and ambulances were at the scene. A post-mortem later found that pressure on Joan Volmer's neck had fractured her thyroid cartilage and caused her to have a heart attack. Not a single one of Joan's murderers got more than a year imprisonment, with Ralph Volmer living happily with his third wife in Queensland. In my opinion though, the most disturbing thing is that 4 years prior, Joan Volmer was admitted to a psychiatric ward, where they found, along with a very troubled childhood and early life, Joan suffered from quite severe schizophrenia. The years leading up to this event, she had stopped taking her medication. Over the next 25 years, the house was boarded up, the property sold, and the house went through the hands of many different owners, all refusing to move in or knock the house down, believing it to be haunted. And that's where I come in, so enjoy the investigation, I suppose. So this is what a campsite looks like. It's on the river, and we've got a nice fire, and we're only about 400 metres away from the Volmer property. This section of the river out front of the Volmer's property. One of the many long dead trees so common around the property. It even has a gallows branch and just looks very creepy. The Volmer's house. ruined and decrepit, as it has been vacant since 1993. The septic tank. The first false claim made in the articles was the basement. The closest thing on the property to a basement was the septic tank. Further out in the property, there's a historical smokehouse that was built in 1880. It was used for eucalyptus oil production. It's about 7 meters tall, and this is what it looks like up the chimney. I bring this up because behind the smokehouse is a mud brick cellar, and in that mud brick cellar is writing by Joan. It's hard to make out, but it says Joan Vollmer, 1980 something. I can't make out the last number, but it's definitely 1980 something. Which means that the statements in the article are completely falsified. There is no basement in the property or near property. And just there, being the closest thing to a cross-shaped tree, which was the apparent tree they tied Joan Vollmer to when she was having her schizophrenic attacks. Naturally, since we're in Australia, a Great Northern. The house's entrance, which I believe to be the entrance, as there is not much left to the house. Apologise for my voice, I am quite sick. The Ouija board I intend to use. Notice the dry patch around the Ouija board, even though everywhere else is wet. I'm only kidding, I put tin on there. This is the living room, which is the most intact room, besides the floor. It has the walls and it has the roof. The hallway and what I believe to be the bedroom, where Joan was tied up for 3 days as she bloated in the 40-degree heat. The bathroom with asbestos galore, and mind you, only months ago when I was in here, it was much more intact than this. The rain can do a lot. And I say rain because there's no roof. The rain has done more damage to this property than vandals ever could. Unless those vandals had a match. And this is a kitchen where I believe Joan would have had some happier times. And Joan, I apologise for bringing up such horrid memories of what your husband had done to you. I can only hope he doesn't have a happy time in his relationship. I believe I would have been speaking about the happenings previous to this video showing. So that's it for the in the house. I'll come back and check the board before I leave. Is there anyone here? If you're here, Joan, can you please move the planchette to Can you please move the planchette to yes? Can you please move the planchette to yes? Or move it at all, because it's not like anything will come of it. Were you actually possessed? And if so, can I channel and speak to the entity that was possessing this poor woman and caused her untimely death from a misdone exorcism? Can you please move the planchette? If you are here and listening, I'd like to sacrifice a Woody doll to you, because what better conduit could you ask for than a Woody doll? But if you're here and you want to show your power, Zozo, Beelzebub, Baphomet, Lucifer, Satan, Behemoth, I can't remember any others. If you're here and you want to show your power, please move the planchette. Please move the planchette to anything. Preferably yes, of course. I feel compelled to move it. I don't know why, it's weird. It's probably because I have a lack of sleep and I'm hallucinating, but I can literally feel a desire to just move the planchette on my own, but I'm not going to, of course, because that would not be what I'm here for. See, I feel compelled to move it. It's very hard to explain. Apparently there's not enough energy to do the Ouija board if it's just you and you're alone. But I believe in a place like this, where a poor woman suffering from schizophrenia was savagely beaten in an attempt to beat out demons which did not exist and were not infesting her. And if there was a demon, and he was the one that caused that, or she, succubus, whatever, could you please move the planchette? Well, I think that's definitive. Nothing's happening. I'll move it past goodbye and then place it back on the G. If it moves from the G, I'll let you know. Okay, goodbye. How I'm leaving it while I go to the piggery. Apologies for the sound of the wind. That's the Volmer house and the subsequent buildings on the property. The largest of which is an 1880 smokehouse for making eucalyptus oil, I believe. And there's a boiler somewhere up there that I took a photo of. Upon entering the site of the piggery, this is what the Volmers did. They were pig farmers. In many cultures, pigs are considered unclean and may have been the inspiration for the possible demon. And I don't know what that is, to be honest. A view down the rows. It's a very long piggery, possibly 30-40 metres long. You can see the pens. The air here is noticeably thick with sulphur, usually indicating the presence of a demonic entity. And the very back of the piggery, with more unsafe roof, so I should be quick. As you can see, it's a good 40 metres long. Evidence of the pigs, as there's pig trots on this piece of foam. Walking in the paddock, I had a bit of a thought, and I didn't explore the possibility of one of the eucalyptus oil workers actually being the evil entity that may have been causing the disturbances, or the possible possession of Joan Volmer. Just a thought. I don't know about demonology. I was talking about the township of Antwerp. My phone went flat, even though it was 59% only 15 minutes ago. So that's the only sort of freaky thing that's happened. As this is the last video I'll be doing in the actual house, so in one take I'm going to do it so that you can see I haven't fucked around with anything. And there's no one else here, by the way. Yeah, and as I thought, the planchette hasn't moved at all, as I expected. And I weighted it down so nothing would blow, and it clearly didn't move. So yeah,
sort of sad that nothing happened with the Ouija board, but interesting nonetheless, and hope you guys enjoyed. If you want me to do more videos like this about, I don't know, demonology or urban exploration, I'd be happy to do so, because I am a very capable climber. And yeah, that's all that needs to be said about that. So, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll catch you in the wrap-up or something, maybe, I don't know.
Why not start and end on a campfire? I believe I did what I said I was going to do. I disproved some of the bullshit. There was no basement on the property, as some of the articles claimed. And furthermore, some articles claim that there was a cross-shaped tree on the vicinity. But there was no such thing. There wasn't a stump, there wasn't a dead tree that looked like that, there wasn't anything like that. And as you can see, I like to get to the truth of some things. And if you guys want to see me do more urban exploration and more historical based things, anything relating to this, I'll be happy to do so. Basically call me Exploring with Josh, exploring with Liam. So I hope you enjoyed, guys, and I'll see you next time.